for IMAGINiT Technologies, we are Autodesk's biggest reseller. You know, you guys, since we're kind of a little bit behind, I'm going to skip through a little bit. We do have over 135 technical experts. We have numerous Autodesk authorized training centers. We also are with Ascent. We help solve problems. Getting on to consulting and professional solutions, we do a lot of different types of services to help organizations become better at what they do. I'm kind of biased, so I always start out with the reality capture portion of this list. But implementation services, CFD, we have teams that do content development, software development, pretty much anything that you can come up with. We want to try to help make you better at what that is. We have over 70 unique courses with Autodesk applications, including everything from recap classes to Revit classes to Inventor to see, I mean, everything that you could think of. Looking at what our agenda today is, we're gonna kind of do a couple different things here. I want to be able to show you some of the tools that we can use in Leica to and in Autodesk to be able to utilize this very intelligent data. All right, you know, capturing the point cloud is one thing, but what can I do afterwards? That to me is the big deal. So what is reality capture? All right, there's a lot of different meanings out there of reality capture. You know, it helps with, you know, informed design. It helps with validating, monitoring, documenting construction processes. There are many different ways to create reality capture. And, you know, one of the things that tends to get lost in the whole reality capture world is, you know, we've always done reality capture. I mean, we've done it for years and years, hundreds of years. I mean, there's always been ways of measuring things, okay? A pen, pencil, piece of paper, and a good trusty tape measure. That is a form of reality capture. So, you know, it's not something that is new to us. What's new to us is how to advance that and how to get it to where it's in a digital form. And now, you know, I'm sending one person out to the field, not multiple people out to the field. I'm using a machine to capture all the data. So what I like to do real quick, and just for a few minutes, is most of the individuals that look at reality capture in today's, you know, world looks at it from a standpoint of, okay, I have this point cloud data. Point cloud data is millions, if not billions, of little points that were captured with a laser from this device. And one of the things that I tend to do, it's a little bit different than most, is I start with the back end workflow and kind of move toward the front end. What do I mean by that? Let's be honest. You guys really want to see how I can take this data into AutoCAD or take it into Revit and be able to work with it. And from there, you know, if that satisfies our hunger to work with point cloud data, everything else before that workflow is pretty simple. I mean, it's not a very hard technology to get up to speed on. So just for a few minutes, bear with me. I'm going to minimize this, and I do have Revit. I am going to show you this in Revit. And a lot of the tools that I'm going to show you here, some of them are very, very, very similar to AutoCAD. You know, if I just want to create 2D floor plans, or if I want to take this into Navisworks, I want to be able to do some clash detection or you know, look at or do some comparing. But just for about 5 or 10, 15 minutes, what I'd like to do is show you how simple we can do this in Revit. Now, I have a black background. I tend to have a hard time seeing the colorized points on the white background, so I do tend to change mine up. Today, we are going to be using the Leica LGS format. And this file format that we're going to use, it is a proprietary to Leica. But what's nice about it is it compresses that point cloud. One of the complaints about using reality capture in an Autodesk workflow is sometimes it's really hard to see all the data. Yeah, that's a valid point. All right, we want to be able to see all this data. The Leica file type allows us to do that. So I'm just going to grab this data. It is from an RTC, Leica's new scanner. I'm going to hit OK and go ahead and bring this in. Now, once this is in, you'll notice that I am in a 3D view. All right, everything that we've been taught, you know, oh, we work in a plan view, we do sections and elevations. Right now, let's put a pin in that and hold on to it for a minute, because everything that we're going to do for the next few minutes is done in this 3D view, which is a little different than normal. So, you know, standard functionality, we got to come in here. We've got to make sure that our project is set up and going to behave the way we want it to do. So one of the things that I always want to mention is we're in this 3D view. The reason why I really like the CloudWorks is because now I can actually come in here and start making these clips. All right, so we'll clip, let's say, between here and here. That gives me the opportunity to start seeing my point cloud. Now, there are different ways to set this up. I am going to change to an east view, and this is pretty generic or pretty straightforward workflow. I am going to grab this level. I am going to get it put in place. All right. I may have to zoom in to really get it nice and tight. That's going to be, to me, the biggest challenge. Why? When was the last time anyone had a perfectly flat floor, perfect wall? Probably never. So we do have to come in here every once in a while, depending on how the scan was set up, and we need to adjust these. So it's really simple. Just, you know, being able to turn the point cloud off and saying, hey, I'm going to put these kind of down here on that level. It's about right there. All right. I come back in. I'm going to turn my point cloud back on, and you'll notice that my level 1 is now set. At this point, I would go and adjust my level 2 to whatever I needed to do. Now, with that said, you'll notice that, yeah, okay, I did go into a standard east view, but now I'm going to go back to my 3-dimensional view. And what's nice about these slices is everything is saved in a CloudWorks project file, not my Revit project file. All my clippings, you know, if I reset this and say, you know what, let's do another clip, and this time we're going to do a Z slice. Maybe I show up here. Okay, so now I've sliced my building so that I could come in here. I've got wall tools, windows tools, door tools. All of this is going to help me start to build this Revit model. Okay, you know, there's something to be said for tracing. Could I go in here and trace this? Yeah, you could. What kind of mood are you in when you're tracing? You know, if we want to maximize using this data, using the intelligent information that was captured, then I probably am not a big fan of tracing. Okay, so there are a lot of tools in here. I mean, things just as simple as being able to move that point cloud up and down. This is not something that if I go out with a pen and piece of paper that I'm easily able to do. You know, how many times we've gone out to the field and we take our piece of paper, our clipboard, and we start measuring point A to point B to point C to point D. We get back to the office and go, oh man, my dimensions don't close. Oh, I got to go back out to the field. I've done it. Been there, done it. It's not fun, and it starts to cost money. And that is the whole goal of this, is to try to save and prevent us from going back out to the field. One of the tools that I am a big fan of, it's called Quick Slice, and I'll show you this, and we'll talk a little bit about, you know, some mechanical and things like that. I can actually come in here do a quick slice on the wall, and creates my floor plan. Now, all I'm doing is coming through here and using our 2-pick polyline. And what this is doing is basically I'm picking the points, all right, as I go around here. And notice I'm going pretty quick, you know, just go around picking these, this. I'm gonna hit escape, I'm done. I can use these tools, close my curve. So it put in this intelligent polyline, and once this is done, now all I've got to do is start putting in the intelligent information that I want it to be. Okay, so looking at it, how do I want to place the walls, etc. I've gone ahead and done this. I hit OK. We've got that placed. All right. So one of the questions that I saw is, you know, is this a plugin? Yes, this is a plugin that sits into Revit. Natively, Revit doesn't have any tools to be able to extract walls, windows, doors, pipes, ducts, conduits, etc. So this is an add-in into Revit. And the purpose of it is to start utilizing that point cloud so that we're not tracing anymore. We're actually extracting. Good question. So again, you know, being able to utilize this intelligent data, being able to capture it in the field, getting it into Revit, being able to use the Leica application to extract this data is going to make me much more efficient in getting this model done a lot quicker. All right, so we'll come in here just for a few minutes. We'll give the MEP folks some love. And once we're in here, again, start working with a point cloud. MEP is one of the more complicated tools, or one of the more complicated things about getting put into Revit, because there's not a lot of times we can go measure the top of pipe, center of pipe, or bottom of pipe. It's just, sometimes it's not easily able to be done. So, but if we can scan it and I can see it, yes, I have to see it with the scanner, I'm able to start capturing and using that point cloud to recreate some of that geometry. For instance, I'll just grab this area right here. All right. So you'll notice that I've got some pipe up here. I've got some food grade stainless steel piping here. And when we start to do this, again, everyone hopefully has noticed CloudWorks. I haven't left this panel too much. Pipe. This pipe tool is very similar to the pipe tool that's in CloudWorks for AutoCAD. All right. Yes, there is a plug-in for AutoCAD. It's called CloudWorks for AutoCAD. It sits inside all of your AutoCAD, AutoCAD Plant 3D, AutoCAD Civil 3D. Any AutoCAD-based software, this CloudWorks add-in will work. So, and what's nice about this is really a lot of the tools that I'm showing you, the line tool where I'm creating the polyline, that's the same tool that's in AutoCAD. Instead of creating a three-dimensional wall, it creates a 2D polyline. Creating the pipe, creating the structural steel, that is all the exact same process. So looking at this, you know, I want to create pipe. I hit OK. Now, before I hit OK, the one thing I want to point out here, this is all pulled from your Revit template. So yeah, you have to have this stuff set up. You have to make sure that what the software is going to put in is what you tell it to put in. So we have to keep that in mind. So we'll come in here, we'll say, hey, let's create pipe, hit OK. I'm going to pick on this piece and I'm going to spin this around so I can see it. We'll click. All right, says that's 4 inch, great. And basically now I'm going through and I'm saying, hey, this pipe is this pipe is that, this pipe is this, and I am coming through, and I very quickly was able to create those pieces. Now, one of the hard things about Revit is that if center lines don't line up, you know what's going to happen. They're not going to connect. So if I change my display level to fine, do my trim command real quick, yep, not going to happen. So what Leica's done is built in a connect systems tool, which is phenomenal. I can go connect systems. I pick the two pieces of pipe. It says, hey, what do you want to do? Well, I want to create these as an elbow, put it in, hit OK. There it is. Wait, there's more. Because if I turn the point visibility on, notice that's a long sweeping elbow. All right. They have included a couple of special fittings that will allow me to pick on these two and say, you know what, I want to change the ratio. And we'll say 13.5, hit OK, puts it in. There it is. And if I pick on that, that is a elbow. All right. If I hover over, if I tab and pick all of that, that is now a system. So now I can go back and add insulation, change type, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the nice part about this is that's very similar to creating duct. It's the same thing. It's a very much a repeatable process. So I'll do a little bit of Conduit real quick. I don't want to take too much time because I want to get in a couple other things. But I'll come in here, do a quick box clip around my Conduit. At this point, it's coming in here, again, utilizing the tool, choosing my Conduit, hitting OK, picking different parts and pieces. Oops, let me pick a little better. So it's saying that's 3/4. That one's 3/4. I am literally just now picking my way through all of these pieces. Now, you know, it does come down to how good you pick, you know, how good the data is on the actual surface that we're trying to create. So right there, very quickly, was able to grab all that Conduit. So, you know, working with point cloud data, in my opinion, is not complicated. It is something that if you have the right tools and the right education, it is very simple. Is it a cure-all, solve-all? No, it's not. You know, the things that you have to really pay attention to is how am I going to create these walls? You know, there's, in my opinion, there's two ways. There's option A, where I create the wall pretty, where everything is nice and 90 degrees and perfectly straight. That's a way to do it. Or do I want to create it accurate, which is based off of the point cloud? Neither way is right. Neither way is wrong. You have to decide which way you, as an organization, want to go. And that's where we are able at IMAGINiT to come in and assist. So I'm going to jump back here for a few minutes, and I'm going to, bear with me. Let me swap this. So how do we fit? All right, we are one of the very, very few Leica resellers and Autodesk resellers that can literally educate you on both the Leica workflow and the Autodesk workflow, and how to intertwine those to get the best of both worlds. I've got some dear friends at Leica that I work closely with. They bounce stuff off us. We bounce stuff off them. We're focused on what your business needs. That's what we want to help make you the most efficient that we can make you. We are not just a scanner reseller. A lot of people go, oh, you guys sell scanners. Yeah, we do. But we spend a lot more time getting you up to speed, implementing it, teaching you how to do the different workflows. So we, at IMAGINiT, again, from the Leica side, we have been here around for about 20+ years now. We do a lot of strategic business planning. We are trusted consultants and experts in the environment. And we are truly a platinum partner with both Autodesk and Leica. So again, we have a lot of say, and we can get a lot of help that other resellers cannot. How do we, looking at everything, there's a lot of different things that we offer. All right, I want to highlight just some of the higher end ones. When you purchase a BLK 360, all right, one of the things that we do is, how do we get started? Working with a BLK 360 is a great entry-level scanner. We offer what we call a BLK 360 Smart Start. It is entry-level education. Basically, it's a 2-day hardware and software training class. That first day, we take you into how to use the scanner. All right, but we take it much further than that, especially for those that have never done scanning before. We really want to teach you how to scan and how to use a scanner. Because if we teach you how to use a scanner, but we don't teach you how to scan, you're not going to be happy with the results. So we really, on that first day, we really focus on how to use the hardware and how to use that hardware efficiently, effectively in the field on various projects. It is all hands-on. We also go into day 2, working with the software. I know during the whole pandemic, we had to get creative. We had to think outside the box. So we have teamed up with ReadyTech, and we offer all of our classes virtually now. That allows us to bring you into our virtual classroom for all the software. We have all the license and everything, so it's all hands-on learning that software. As the pandemic permits and as organizations start opening back up, we still do all of these live with you in person, if that is what you want. The other scanner that we offer is the BLK To Go. That is Leica's newest handheld scanner. It is an absolute blast to use, and the data is really good. All right. But again, working with the BLK To Go, it's very similar to the BLK 360, where we offer a 2-day Smart Start. That Smart Start will allow us to, day 1, get all hands on the do's, the don'ts, the why nots, the whys on how to use a mobile mapping type scanner. It is very simple to use, but again, we are going to focus more on how to scan and how to appropriately walk and how long to walk, etc. And then, like the BLK 360 Smart Start, day 2 is all about hands-on with the software, going through, making sure that you understand how to process the data. Once the data is processed, how to take that data and use it downstream in CloudWorks for AutoCAD, Revit, Navisworks, things like that. That too can be at your office or at IMAGINiT Training Center and virtual. RTC, a lot of people that I see, names I recognize on the call, have RTCs and BLKs. The RTC is by far my opinion, one of the best scanners on the market. We offer the same thing with the RTC as we do the other 2 scanners, where we have a custom Smart Start. This is, again, teaching you how to scan and how to use the scanner. Sometimes people come in with an understanding of scanners, and it makes it a little simpler. We have times where clients come in and go, yeah, I've been scanning for years. Okay, great. But we still are able to teach them a few tips and tricks. All right. None of us are 100% effective and able to use everything. So, a lot of tips and tricks, a lot of hands-on with the hardware and the software. The last thing I'll talk about hardware-wise is we do offer a full Preflow of P-series classes. Anything from entry level on up, we will pretty much come to you for the P-series classes. Anything from, you know, registration, survey workflow, architectural workflow, any of that with the P-series, we will scope out and be more than happy to give you classes on those. So the other thing that we have is a Leica proof of concept. So this is, you know, you're introducing laser scanning to your organization. It is, you know, laser scanning, doesn't matter how you look at it. It can be a large upfront capital expense. So a lot of companies go, well, we're not sure that it's going to work in our scenario or in our field. So we would kind of like to test drive it. Well, our test drives are called proof of concept. It is a paid engagement, but basically it allows me to come out to your site on a job site, an active job site, and allows us to bring any of the scanners to be able to really show what that scanner is capable of doing. All right. And that really helps you understand that, hey, you know, I do bridges, you know, what scanner is going to be best for me? We kind of talk that out. We bring it, we show it, we go through your workflow process, and we prove out that concept. Additional offerings that we have to implement all of the Leica stuff, or the, you know, the HDS, any software that is available through Leica or Autodesk, and there's some miscellaneous softwares that we also represent. We conduct custom classes for those softwares. And when I say custom, what we do is we will have conversations with you prior to. Once that conversation, we have an understanding of what your workflow is. We'll take the software and we'll develop the class based off what your need is. We focus on that because that, to us, gets you the best all-around education. It's laser focused on what you are doing. We also offer, you know, we are authorized reseller of all the Leica software. The one thing that I am going to kind of sneak in here at the last minute is Cyclone Enterprise. Cyclone Enterprise is Leica's newest software that they have been rolling out for the past couple months. It is a data management software that can be hosted on Azure, AWS, or on your local server. It helps manage point cloud data. Think of it as a single source for your point cloud information. That includes viewing it. It also allows me to combine my 3D model and the point cloud into a single file and be able to view that via a web browser as well. Cyclone Enterprise is an amazing tool. If anybody has questions or would like to discuss the Cyclone Enterprise further, just let me know in the chat and we can set up a meeting. With that said, we're going to turn it over for questions.